for today's project, we're going to need some fabric. I'm going to recycle this corduroy skirt. It's a really, really soft corduroy and fairly thick, so I thought it would be good for the project. You're going to need about a 12-inch square of that. You're going to need a ruler to measure out your piece to cut it if you want to be precise. You're going to need some Velcro, a good pair of scissors, and I have a sewing machine. So I'm going to be using my sewing machine to sew and also to embroider, as this is a gift, but you can skip the embroidery part. You're also going to need the sleeve that matches the shape of your coffee cup, and I also suggest keeping the coffee cup so when you're putting your Velcro on, it will be easy to match up. So it's an excuse to get yourself a cup of coffee. So what I'm going to do is take the sleeve and I'm just going to move it apart. You can tell it's not straight, it's curved. So when we are doing this, you got to remember to keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do right now is cut out my 12-inch square, and I'm going to do my embroidery first. So I have my embroidery done, and what I've done is I've centered it under the cardboard sleeve, and now I'm going to take a sewing transfer pencil and I'm just going to go around it, leaving a good amount of space for seam allowances. And once that's done, I'm going to cut this out and then I'm going to match it up with another piece. So now I have the two pieces cut out, and I did notice I bought this material because it was so soft, but I'm thinking it was a little too flimsy. So what I did is I had some fusible web interfacing. You can just use regular interfacing and sew it along the seams and add that. It just gives it a little bit more weight. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put wrong sides together, and I'm going to sew this closed, and what I'm going to do is sew along here, down, back around, and leave the one side open for turning. And now that it's sewn, you can see it's all sewn along these three edges. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim very close to the corners, and then I'm going to turn it right side out. And I've turned it inside out, so it's right side out. I've poked the corners out, and I've taken it to my ironing board and ironed it flat. I also turned the edges in and ironed that so it will be easier to sew. And now I'm just going to sew this closed, and next we'll attach our Velcro. The Velcro I purchased is an iron-on plus sew-on. So you just pull this tab back, and one side's the hook, one side's the tape. So all we need to do is measure this and cut. And I actually put the two together. And cut. Then take our coffee cup and see where that's going to line up. So it's going to be on the back side of this, and then the front side of that. So we want to take this off, and I'm going to place it right on the edge. It's going to be on the outside edge. I want to get it as close to the edge as possible. And I'm going to take this to my sewing machine because it is fusible, and I'm going to fuse it down, and then I'm just going to take a few stitches on the top and the bottom to make sure that it's secure.